Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's town hall. We have a really good town hall this morning. So I was at a community event and I ran into Miss April Jones of the Pennsylvania Job Corps, and we just really connected on our love of kids and giving kids a brighter future and showing them a path to a really good education and job training, because I think that's one of the places that Pennsylvania really lacks is our education and getting our job training. So I was so excited to talk to April about the Job Corps, and right away knew we had to do a town hall on it so that we could spread the word and make sure that everybody, absolutely everybody, knows about it. So I'm going to introduce April Jones. She is with the Pennsylvania Job Corps. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and everybody that you brought with you. Everybody has a different skill set and a different job at Job Corps, different specialties. So if you don't mind, just briefly introducing yourselves.
Not a problem. So, of course, I'm April Jones. I'm an outreach and admissions counselor, and I help the students come into Job Corps and help them through the process. And I brought along Miss Bethany McCoy. She is also an outreach and admissions counselor, and she does the same thing I do. We work hand in hand with each other. And I have Miss Yolanda Cooper, and she is our supervisor. She's an OA counselor supervisor. And then I have Ed Weaver, and he's the outreach and admissions director. And I brought along Miss Carolyn, and she's a career transition supervisor. She helps the students once they graduate, and of course she'll get more into that. And then also Cal Herring, and he is a business community liaison director. So they're all very important people that play very key roles in the success of Job Corps.
Love that. So can you tell me, oh, hi everybody, actually. I'm so excited to get started. I just want to. So can you tell everybody how long Job Corps has been around and kind of in a nutshell what it does, and then we'll get down to the nitty gritty of it.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to let Cal do that portion. I'm going to let him talk about how long Job Corps has been around.
Well, since I'm the elder statesman here, Job Corps started in 1964. It was part of President Lyndon Baines Johnson's Great Society. Okay? And it was established as a training and education tool for those youth who were, at that time, the war against poverty. There were 125 Job Corps. Now we're down to 122. Keystone is one of 4 in the Commonwealth. There's Pittsburgh, Red Rock, Keystone, and Philadelphia. We are a dormitory center, which means that when our students arrive there, they stay there. However, we do have a non-residential component because we have a joint enrollment program with the Hazleton Area School District, where the students are enrolled in the district, but also do most of their work at Keystone, and then they get a dual diploma, one from us and one from the district.
Wow, that's amazing. So would you consider Job Corps as like a more of a college experience, more of a high school experience, or more of something in between?
It's something in between, because many of our students do arrive on center without their GED or high school diploma. So we actually have a freestanding high school on center that's licensed by the Commonwealth. But we expand upon that. We offer the 14 trades on center. So not only are you getting your high school diploma GED, you're also getting a trade certification prior to your departure. We also offer a college program. We're very much a standards measurement program. So if a student does exceptionally well, that opens many other doors for them, such as advanced training or college. We have a college program that's attached to the Luzerne County Community College. So our students, once they complete a trade and they complete their GED high school diploma, they can enroll at Luzerne County Community College, remaining on center and taking classes at LCCC, working towards either certificate or to an associate's degree.
Mhm.
And if you ever saw our campus, we are a very college-like facility. We have 4 dorms. I always say this, my daughters graduated from college, and if their dorms look like our dorms did, they still might be in college. We have a very picturesque setting. We're between 2 mountains. We're sitting in a nice valley. To the east of us is one of the highest points in the Commonwealth. It's over 2,200 feet. So it's a beautiful place, especially in the fall.
Oh, I can imagine. Absolutely. So, who can be involved in Job Corps? So, is this for like what age groups can join Job Corps?
Hey, Bethany, why don't you go ahead and touch on that?
Had to get myself unmuted for a second. So we serve students who are 16 to 24 years old. So they have to be in that age bracket. Depending on disabilities, they can exceed that. And they have to meet the poverty income level requirements. So receive food stamps, whether that's Medicaid, just meet the low income with it, getting their pay stubs. We also serve veterans and veterans families, and the income requirements kind of change depending on those circumstances, but those are the demographics that we serve.
And when you say it's like 24 is the cutoff, so is that the cutoff to enroll, or you have to be completed by that age?
So that is the cutoff to enroll. So they can arrive on campus up until the day before their 25th birthday.
Okay, awesome. And so you were talking about the income levels and things like that. So that kind of takes me into my next question, which is how much does it cost? So, a lot of the problems I find with Pennsylvania's education system is that it's financially out of reach for a lot of people. And there are, training that you can have that doesn't involve college. But then again, sometimes you've got to pay for your tools. You have to live somewhere. You have to commute. So you have to have a car. All of these different things really exclude a large block of Pennsylvanians from getting an education past high school and finding a trade or college. And so that's what I love about Job Corps, is that you're kind of bridging that gap so that doesn't apply. And I don't think, well, I know not enough people are aware of that. So can you just kind of touch on what it costs, and then if there's any type of ability to have a reduction, what does that look like?
So Job Corps is actually free. It is free. It is completely free to all those that qualify. And if as a student needs uniforms, say for culinary, Job Corps provides that. If they need tools, anything that they need to be successful, Job Corps completely provides all of that.
So let's start with maybe somebody has some money, right? They're not in need of necessarily a free program, but they like what Job Corps has to offer. Is there a cost, and that cost is waived, or is the program completely free for anyone who wants to enroll?
Let me kind of address that here. First of all, if a person has an IEP, okay, it doesn't matter what income their parents or guardians are making or they're making. Anybody who has an IEP can enroll free.
And can you explain what an IEP is?
I'll let somebody else do that because they're much better at it than I am. Which one of the panel here can do a better job than me? I'm sure some of
It's probably me. So an IEP is student accommodation. So some examples would be, a student would need time and a half to complete a task. It's putting them on the same playing field as their peers so they can participate meaningfully. What's nice about what the IEPs and Job Corps program is a self-paced program. There isn't a certain deadline for somebody to complete a trade. Now for our CNA class, those have specific dates, but as far as our hard trades, things like that, is entirely self-paced.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Cal, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you said that, I had a feeling people were wondering, so.
No, that's fine, absolutely. And again, Kara did a great job of providing a much better explanation than I ever could.
So we were discussing cost, right? So is there a cost for some people and for other people it's free, or is it always free?
It's always free. So like I said, you just have to meet the qualifications.
Okay.
As he stated, an IEP, if you are on any type of public assistance, such as food stamps or Medicaid, lower income, there is, the low income brackets, those people qualify. And now with veterans, it's a little bit different. Veterans, they do not look at your pay. That's the only difference with veterans versus students. But
Okay.
this is directed solely to those that are in poverty level or on public assistance. So
And
they don't ever have to worry about basically like, oh, I'm going to go to college and be $48,000 in debt later.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And that's what I really love about it, because it truly is filling that gap that Pennsylvania has. It's a huge gaping hole in our education system. And that was one of the things that I really admire about the Job Corps program, is because it literally gives every single person an opportunity to have a great life, a great job, a secure future. So it really doesn't matter, where you come from in life. You can absolutely better yourself, better your future, have that life that everybody is looking for, right? A secure life, a happy life. And you can also give back to your community when you have that. It's not all about money, right? It's all about what you can do when you have the opportunities. And giving back to the community is a big part of that. I would absolutely love everybody listening, to tell everybody about the Job Corps program, because as we were talking, the word isn't getting out there enough in the communities, I think, that need it. So that was one of the main reasons we wanted to do this town hall, was to kind of show everybody that it's out there and available. So
Patty, excuse me, could I interject something here about when you mentioned a key word, and that's community? Our center director, Ms. Kelly King, is very focused on making sure that our students realize the importance of community. We have a very aggressive program of involving our students in the community, especially in lower Luzerne County and the greater Hazleton area, so that they develop the ability to go out and help and assist and be involved, so that when they complete that and they experience that, they can take that home with them.
Yep.
And then be involved in their communities at home. As you know, in public life and public service, volunteerism and community involvement is probably at an all-time low in many areas. So it's part of our mission at Keystone to make sure that our students, when they leave, understand not only the community involvement on center, but off center as well. So
yeah,
thanks for leading me into that. I appreciate that.
well, and thank you for expanding on that, because that is one of my missions in life, truthfully, is to bring people together. And it really hurts my soul where we are as a country and as a state and just as communities in general, because we have become so polarized. It's an us versus them kind of society at the moment, whether that be politics or, you know, religion. I mean, it just, everything is dividing us these days. You know, I really want to get back to the point where we care about our neighbor. We want to talk to people who are different from us. You know, we want to give back to the community and really make a difference. And I think that's how we move forward from where we are right now in terms of healing this enormous divide. And that is getting involved in our communities and really trying to help people get a leg up. And I'm really happy that you said that, because that's a huge part. You know, it's not just about where can I get in life myself, it's about where can I help other people go as well. So where you had mentioned that you have different centers across Pennsylvania. So can you say, let us know where they are, and do those specific locations serve that specific area, or do those specific locations serve a particular specialty?
So Ed, our outreach and admissions director, I'm sorry, I just demoted you, I apologize.
That's quite all right.
He's a master at this, so I feel like I'm gonna let him kind of take over that part, because he knows exactly who, what, where, and where everybody goes and how it works.
Awesome.
Thank you. What Job Corps has devised is a NEAT.
Can't hear you, Ed.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
That's
No, I
better.
can't.
Job Corps has developed, it's called a NEAT, which is a National Enrollment Assignment Plan. Different contractors get different areas to provide support and recruitment of students for Job Corps. We can recruit for any centers throughout the nation. We currently serve 18 counties in Pennsylvania. We work hand in hand with our Red Rock facility, which is by Ricketts Glen State Park in Lopez, PA. Also with Pittsburgh, located in downtown Pittsburgh, and our non-residential center, Philadelphia. We're currently at Keystone Job Corps, which Cal spoke with earlier. We can recruit for any of the centers around the United States. The reason we do this is to help the students that are close to your home, to the admissions counselors, so they can build a relationship with these students to get them enrolled, to help them get the employment once they get graduate from Job Corps. We can help them get their enrollment paperwork going, basically help provide support for them. Like I said, we do cover 18 counties, from all the way out in Altoona, where Bethany is at right now. She has that area all the way to out here we are in Drums, which is Luzerne County. We don't recruit for our center, but another center recruits for our area. We have Lehigh Valley area, Reading, also Dauphin County, and the county surrounding Dauphin, along with Lancaster. So we're trying them out there, hitting the bricks, seeing what students would be interested, doing presentations in local schools, different community centers. It's kind of difficult right now, but we're still reaching out to the schools and seeing where there is a need for these students that would fit the criteria for our program.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it. You said, you know, one is a commuting center, one is a residential center. So people do have options. It's not necessarily they have to go to Job Corps and live in one of the dorms. They could commute if it's something local, or they could actually live in the dorms. And if they live in the dorms, obviously, I believe somebody mentioned it earlier that is free, of course, to live there. And what about the food and things like that? I know when you go on vacation, it's like, you can stay at my house. Well, that's great, but then you're eating out every night. It ends up being an expensive stay anyway. So how does that work for the students?
So they have a beautiful cafeteria at Keystone. And now I unfortunately have not been able to try it, but I have heard that the food is amazing, and I am food driven, so I kind of want to go to eat it. So they do provide their meals and snacks. That's all provided by Job Corps.
Wow. It really is amazing when you think about everything. I mean, it's everything they need. There's like no excuses not to take advantage of what Job Corps is offering.
Well, there's even more perks to this that a lot of people don't realize. There's also the medical benefits. They have basic health care while they're there. They also have dental health care while they're there. They have counseling. Some of these kids have some rough histories. They have counseling to help them. They also have drug and alcohol counseling for those that may struggle with those problems too. So, free medical, free dental, free counseling services, and a whole team of people that are on center to help them.
Wow.
And if I could interject real quickly, they also receive a stipend every 2 weeks for things that we may not have on center that they need. If they want to order, hair products or something from Amazon, that's their money that they can have, and they get that paycheck every 2 weeks. So essentially, we are paying them to receive their education and then pay it forward in the communities they go back that has that job demand.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible.
If I can build upon that, obviously, if we're providing, or the American taxpayers providing all this education and training, there is some criteria that the students must maintain. First of all, our number one priority is to maintain a safe center. So we are a zero tolerance facility. Okay? When a student arrives on center, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take a drug screening. If they come up positive, they're going to take a second drug screening within 45 days. If they're positive after that, unfortunately, they're going to have to be separated from the center. We do not tolerate violence. We do not tolerate any type of bullying. All those things are based on level of disciplinary action, and can have you separated from the center. So what we're not only trying to do is educate and train you, we're trying to develop those employability skills that you are definitely going to need once you go out and seek a job. And not only seek a job, but maintain employment, which is many times where the problems exist. And that's what we're trying to do. So yes, we are great. We provide you with all these things, but you need to be able to comply with the regulations that were established by the United States Congress. Okay, it wasn't something that some bureaucrat at DOL down in DC decided they were going to pull out of a hat. All these were established and are law by the United States government.
And
also, I'm sorry, Patty.
no, go ahead.
And also, if I may add, along with all these other systems that we have in place to help our students become successful, we offer the emotional support through our staff. One of the models that we follow is called Credo. It teaches caring. It teaches to take risks for success, to expect that they can be successful, dream to their fullest heights, and obsess in a way that their obsession becomes a positive to them. So we begin when every student comes to our center to help them to build a mindset of success. There was one model that I heard and I really loved it. It says, you can, you will, and somebody else can help me with that. How's that go, Cal? You can, you must, you
You
will.
can, you will, you must.
Yes. So that way, it helps our students to know that we are definitely supporting them in their efforts to be successful while on center as to when they get back into their community.
Yeah, I really like that there's accountability on their side too, right? They've got to hold up their end of the bargain as well. And you're not just doing that to, be strict and unnecessary, but Cal hit it that, these are all skills that you need in life, in your workforce, because employers aren't going to tolerate shenanigans at the job site. They will let you go in a heartbeat. So the fact that you instill those kind of values is really amazing as well.
I think it's also nice too, because, when you're looking at the age range of like 16 to 18 or 16 and 17-year-olds, and a lot of times the parents are trying to figure out what to do, how to get these kids out of the same systematic rotation that's in place. And it's good for parents to know that, this is a zero tolerance campus, that your kids are going to be safe on campus, that everything that is provided, but there's the safety net, they check on the kids, they do a roll call in the morning, for schools, they do it in the evenings, when they go for their trades. The minors, they're checked on a little bit more, by all means, but they put things in place such as there's no alcohol allowed. You may be 21 and over, but there's still other people, that are younger, that the responsibility is there. So it's also, it's promoting so many good aspects of, being a good adult, being a responsible adult.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask a silly question, but is it open to males and females?
You have males and females, and when, as of right now, because the way, everything is with COVID, when the center reopens, it's one person, 2 room. But of course, as things start to get better, they like to put people, the males are going to be with the males and the females are going to be with the females, but they like to put people together that are going to be able to help each other through. They're not just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to start randomly put people together. They like to match groups so that there's a good success for them each. But it is male and female.
And so when you go through the list of everything that you offer, which is extensive and mind-blowing, truthfully, how is Job Corps funded? I know Cal kind of hit on it a little bit, but are you funded with taxpayer money? Are you funded on the federal, state, or is it a nonprofit that people can donate to? I'm sure people are wondering.
It's strictly funded by the United States federal government through the taxes that we all pay. And it's part of the U.S. Department of Labor budget. It's a separate line item for Job Corps. And it's part of the whole appropriations process. As you know what it's like down in Harrisburg, federal government's the same way, and we're subject to the same expectations and measurements to make sure that where the taxpayer's dollar is going, that's being well spent.
That's awesome. So what kind of training can people get? What kind of options do they have? And where could they go to, like if they don't have the luck of coming in contact with one of you, where can they find all the different options that are available?
Well, let's start with Keystone, and then I'll kick it out to the other ones. Okay. At Keystone, we have 14 trades, 2 clusters, construction and service. In the construction trade, there's painting, plastering, brick, cement, electrical, carpentry, facility maintenance, and material handling. And as you know, living in the 81 corridor, facility maintenance is a gigantic trade opportunity for all our students. In the service area, there is office assistant, medical assistant, certified nursing assistant, which is licensed through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Health and Department of Education, culinary, and security. So there are our training areas. So we feel very strongly, and so is Department of Labor, that we offer trades that are going to continue to grow and are growing. We're not going to teach students how to be blacksmiths, because obviously there's only so many horses on the planet anymore. So we're always focused in on trying to make sure that we offer trades where there will be jobs. And that's just being responsive to the taxpayer.
And those are good jobs. Those aren't just, minimum wage jobs that you're training for. That's a career.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
If somebody else can bop in on what the other centers have to offer, please.
I do know that some of the centers, I believe Red Rock offers a little bit more in the construction section. So each of the centers vary a little bit differently, but I think Bethany has a better knowledge to those things.
So I was just going to ask you, I just pulled them up so I could read them off of what we mostly.
Thank you, Bethany.
No problem. We mostly recruit for Keystone, but they are able to go to these other centers if Keystone does not offer a trade that they're interested in. So I'm going to pull that up. So Red Rock offers basic collision. They offer maintenance, which is the light repair. They also offer carpentry, electrical, and plumbing, just as we do, and office administration. Pittsburgh offers a couple different ones, so they're kind of unique to their own. They offer heavy construction, equipment mechanic, electrical, as we do, facilities maintenance. They have an HVAC, so a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning program. They also have the certified nursing assistant and clinical medical assistant. They have medical administration assistant. They also have security and culinary, as we do, and they have heavy equipment operations.
Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. So I'm just going to flip to the flip side of, instead of talking about the students, what if there are people out there who are training people for a trade that you don't offer? Is there an opportunity to grow that list of trades that you offer? And how do people, like on the training side of things, get involved with Job Corps? Or if we see another emerging profession that comes through, do you ever add to that list?
We have a operation, or committee, I should say, called the Workforce Council, and we meet semi-annually. And what we do is we have representatives of PA CareerLink, which is one of our WIOA partners, okay? The WIBs, we usually work with the WIB of Luzerne and Schuylkill, and we bring them in for a meeting. And what we do is we analyze data that's provided for us by the Commonwealth through CareerLink and look at what emerging trades there may be and where we may need to modify what we offer. For instance, we have studied and have proposed in the past that we add an advanced maintenance technology, okay, in Greater Hazleton. There are many plants and facilities that need and are crying for on a daily basis maintenance mechanics. It is a growing area, and it's just something that we're trying to wrap our arms around and trying to get DOL to look at this as a possible trade opportunity for us. So yes, every 6 months we analyze all the data, look at it, and try to determine where we can provide better opportunities for our students. The CNAs and the medical assistants, they're always going to stay. that's not going to change. Even though the CNAs are, it's a challenging program because we have to adhere to DOE requirements. So everything along the way is not only monitored by Job Corps, but it's also monitored by the Commonwealth. But those things are going to stay. Everything else is always being analyzed just to see what we can provide for our students, which gives them the best opportunities for success.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Job Corps doesn't have to be the end for them, right? If they're a CNA, they want to go on for, you know, a nursing degree or something, you know, kind of keep progressing up that ladder. They've got a fantastic foundation then, and also a good paying job that then enables them to continue that education past Job Corps, to really be anything they want.
And if we can kick this over to Carolyn, and there she is, there are opportunities within the Job Corps system nationwide, and she'll expand on those.
Right, perfect segue actually. So them obtaining a job training match after they leave isn't the only pathway for them. They do have the opportunity for advanced training programs. So for example, we recently had an electrical student here. She's wonderful, you know, completed her program of training and was interested in enhancing those skills. There was an advanced HVI electrical trade offered at the Miami Job Corps. So they'll do calls for applications, and you know, they'll pick the very best students, and she was one of them to start that program. So she was a transfer from our center, so she completed, you know, her basic electrical program here, but now she's going to AT, advanced training down in Miami, where when she's done, you know, she'll be specialized in, you know, weatherization or, you know, things like that, very specialized fields that, you know, have, they have the demand for it. They have the wages that it's going to set her up for the rest of her life. In addition to that, there are apprenticeship programs. An apprenticeship is another pathway for our students. And we also have a military pathway. We recently had a student, Zoe, back in, I want to say February, you know, enlist with the Army. And, you know, that's something too that, of course, has all kinds of, you know, perks that come, you know, after they, you know, they serve their first, you know, 4 years or so, as far as going to attend college. You know, and speaking, you touched on the college program earlier, but we, you know, we do offer through the ACT program community college classes, and we've had students that will, you know, get as many community college credits as they can and then transfer to university. Yeah. So there's so many opportunities. It doesn't just have to stop with, okay, I completed my program, now I'm going to go find a job. You know, and that's something that we identify early, and that's the focus, you know, as they move through their education.
And that's the benefit of your counseling as well. You know, you can kind of guide them. I'm sure that a lot of people who come in to the program aren't really even sure what their options are in life, you know, or what career path they want to do. Are they allowed to kind of test this and test that to see what they like the most, what kind of fits their personality?
So if I remember correctly, sorry, Carolyn, you know, I remember when I first started, I kind of asked this question because sometimes we think, oh, wait a second, you know, I want to go in and I want to do culinary, but you know, they get in there and it may not be a match for them, you know, and when you have, you know, you have a lot of support on center, you know, you have counselors, you have RA residents, you know, there to help you. Job Corps will work with you, like, so maybe you might be like, you know what, I think I want to do medical. You're not held in one spot, you know, so they give the opportunity to allow the students, if they realize culinary is not my thing, or, you know, maybe they went into the construction portion of it and it was just too much for them. You know, maybe they decide, hey, you know what, I think I want to do security or medical. The people on staff are going to help them to find a place that helps them succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's entirely possible for a student to switch to another trade as long as they're in good standing and that there is availability in that trade. A lot of times we'll have students finish a trade and they'll enhance their skill sets by taking up a second trade. as well. So we do have a lot of students that are on their second trade as well, taking full advantage of what they can with the time that they have, while they're here.
Yeah. And well, that brings me to a question then, how long can they stay? If they finish a trade, they, want to pick up another one, are they able to continue to do that until they age out, or are there limits in place?
So there are limits, 2 year, but there is the availability of extension. So our college students, for example, that's something that we would have to get approved by Department of Labor. We submit the extension request, so and so is a college student, for example. This is their good standing. This is how wonderful they are. Please continue to support them. And, generally we don't have any issues with that. So it is a self-paced program, but there is a cutoff, and that would only happen if they really weren't pushing themselves.
Right.
It's that accountability system again.
So once they graduate and they finish their training, how do they go about getting jobs? Are they, with some colleges, they help with job placement. If you're in a union apprenticeship, they help with job placement, things like that. Do you have employers coming to you looking for employees, or do you have job fairs? How does that work?
So that's my whole department actually. So I get to kind of pitch what my team does. So we are career transition readiness. So about 90 days out before a student is projected to graduate from the program, they come into my area where we go through their resume, we have them practice interview skills, we go out and make sure they have interview appropriate clothing for the trades that they are interviewing, and of course, all kinds of necessary kind of job skills and life skills kind of modules to prepare them as they transition out. When it comes to the time of graduating, our goal is if they are going for a job training match, that's what we do. We match them with a full-time job training match, shoot for $12.50 an hour or more. In a lot of cases it is, especially in the construction area. And, once they graduate, it doesn't stop there. They have a full year of services. That is career transition specialist. So that's not exactly my department, but I kind of play as a liaison because kind of like how Outreach and Admissions serves multiple centers, we don't have career transition services. That's with Red Rock, but they serve our center. So I work in partnership with them very closely to, find job fairs for students that may not have left without a job, or students that are looking to advance their career within that 1 year service window. We'll get emails from people looking for students. We have a position open. We've worked with your center before. Do you have, somebody that would be ready and available to, come work with our company? So it's a mixture of everything that's, out there. And we're always looking for businesses in the community that, not only depend on us, but we depend on them as well to make sure that our students are taken care of after they leave.
So let's talk about contacting. So if we have parents out there listening that think this would be a good fit for their kids, if there's kids listening that think it'd be a good fit for them, how do they get in touch with Job Corps? How do they get started with the program, or really just get information to see if it's something that's a good fit for them?
So there is a website that they can go to. I believe it's jobcorps.gov. And that, and they can submit an application. And it also gives them all the information that they need. With this, there are 5 outreach and admission counselors in Dauphin County alone. So, I can give you my information. You can always contact me directly. We work with those kids. We answer their questions. Each of the OA counselors have their own specialty, but they all find it very important to reach, to contact and be in contact and make those connections with the students and with the parents too. So like I said, they can go to the jobcorps.gov and they can put in their application. They can contact me directly. There's a 1-800 number that they can call. I do not know it off the top of my head. I apologize.
It's 1-800-733-JOBS.
1-800-733-JOBS.
And April, do you feel comfortable giving your contact info? For
Yeah, most
people?
definitely.
Okay.
So my email is jones.april@jobcorps.org. A direct phone number for me is 717-525-4371.
Okay. And nobody panic. I will put all of these links and information in the comments under the video on Facebook and on the social media so that people have that. And do you have a Facebook page or anything like that, social media, where people can kind of stay in touch? Or is most of that on the website?
Most of the information's on the website. The social media program at Job Corps nationwide continues to evolve. There has been no official center Facebook pages. However, there is an official Job Corps Facebook page. Okay, so they can go right to that and receive all the information they want. There are many of our dorms. So if you type in Keystone into search on Facebook, many of our dorms have their own specific sites. My personal site, my personal page, I put a lot of Job Corps information also. Nice cat, April. I love cats.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was at a side note, I had a Rotary meeting lately. I was doing this. My daughter's cat was here, walked right across the screen. So that's a great thing. So they can search me, Cal Herring. There hasn't been as much documentation, much posting since the students have been gone, but we still try to keep everybody up to date.
Okay. And then on the flip side of that, of course, if there's employers out there listening in those fields that you mentioned that are like, holy cow, here's some like amazingly trained employees and I've been looking for that my entire life, how did they get in touch with Job Corps about hiring some of your students?
The world famous Carolyn.
Yeah, and I can give you my my office number as well. It's 570-708-0540. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. And I will put that down there too. And so you mentioned that you go around and you do presentations at schools, things like that. So if we have any teachers listening or any school board members listening and they want to invite you in to do a presentation for their students, number one, are you doing that live right now or is that virtual? And how can they bring you into the school?
We can do it live, like we can go to them. We do, follow all protocols with masks and stuff like that. So we can go forward doing that way. We can also create a Zoom meeting or say WebEx. And that is always very helpful because, it's very personable. But we also have information sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock. And we also have a virtual tour that the schools are able to join in on Wednesdays at 11.
And where would they find that? The virtual tours and the info sessions.
We will be more than happy to send you all the information and you'll be able to attach it right on there. So if there is any interest, who to reach out to for a presentation and also the links for the virtual tours and the information sessions.
Awesome.
Yeah, we just did a great one the last 3 days with Val Youth House from 5 to 7 at night to educate the students that were in the Val Youth House about Job Corps. So we hit 3 different areas at Val Youth House. So it is paying off. We are getting the word out there of Job Corps, and there's a lot of interest right now. But thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to send me that, I'm happy to post all of that info. Is there, I just have one last question. I don't know why it popped into my head right now, but is there a limit to how many students each of your centers can take? Like, is there an urgency for somebody who's interested to get their name on the list before it's full?
Yes, our capacity is 471 students. Currently, during the COVID, we do have quite a few folders that are built up here on center. The sooner they would get the information and the paperwork in that we need, we put them on based on what trade they are choosing. Certain trades are a little bit longer list right now. Certain other ones are quite short. But it's going to be based on what openings we have available once we open back up. So the sooner the better.
Okay. All right, that's amazing. So is there anything else that we did not cover? I'm looking, and as always, our conversations on Zoom cover so many topics that we have no questions on Facebook, which I love. That's amazing. So we're doing a good job. But is there anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about, or is there anything we covered that you want to stress? I'll kind of leave the last word up to you all, and we can go on from there.
So, I mentioned that we had a 1-year service window for students after they leave, but I want to stress anything. Our relationships with our students don't stop when the year stops after they leave. The rapport that we have with them, from beginning to end, that carries on, after they're done with us, we still get updates from students who left years ago. And it's really fulfilling to be able to watch them grow into their careers and share, what's been going on with them with us. It's important work that we do. And it's so fulfilling. And know that, if you send your child with us, that, they're not just a number to us. They're important, and we strive to get those updates, and know that we have the impact and that they are now taking that back into the community and, impacting others. So it's super fulfilling. And that's the only other thing that I would stress about it.
Yes. And also, just to piggyback off of Carolyn there, Job Corps is the largest job training program in the United States. We know that 90% of our Job Corps graduates have been successfully placed in employment. And 3% actually of that number of our applicants or individuals, 3% of them enroll in the military and 11% go on to higher education. So it is certainly the stepping stone for success of our youth in the community.
Yeah. And I can tell that you have to be doing a good job on all levels if students stay in touch with you after they graduate. I think that is the best testament to how students feel moving through your program, that they want to stay in touch. That's amazing. Okay. Anyone else have anything to touch on we haven't hit yet? No? All right. Thank you so much to all of you for what you do every day, day in, day out. This isn't just a job training program. I mean, it really helps shape people's futures. It gives them a leg up. It helps our economy. It helps kind of keep kids on the right path. If they may be having some challenges there, it helps parents who may be single parent households that are struggling. And it really gives people in the lower income brackets a chance to break out of that, not just for themselves, but for their families and their future families. So it's an amazing program. And I want to thank you all for doing that. And as I mentioned, I will put all the links below the video in Facebook, including the phone numbers, the website, email addresses, and let's see if we can't get this to all the communities that need it. Make sure that they're aware it exists. And yeah, so anybody who is watching, whether it's live or in the future, please spread the word. Tell everybody about it. Contact Job Corps, have them come into the schools, talk to the kids, and yeah, let's make a better future for not just our kids, but ourselves also. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Patty, for having me.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.